For years, China has dominated global trade, expanding its influence through manufacturing, infrastructure, and aggressive economic policies. But what if I told you that India has a secret weapon, one that could challenge China's economic grip and reshape global power? This strategy has been developing for years, and while few have noticed, its impact is starting to unfold. But the big question remains, can India's plan really take on the Chinese economic machine? Stay with me as I uncover the truth behind India's secret strategy to counter China's rise.
India will be the third largest economy soon.
India has developed a digital public infrastructure that is being studied by other countries.
1. India's economic rise. When we think of global economic powerhouses, the United States, China, and Japan are the names that dominate headlines. But there's another rising force that few are talking about: India. With a growth rate exceeding 7% per year, India is on track to become the third largest economy by 2030, surpassing Japan. But India's rapid rise isn't just because of a young workforce or an expanding middle class. It's the result of strategic decisions that position India as a counterbalance to China's global influence. While China has expanded its economic reach through Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, India has quietly been executing a game plan of its own. The world may not be paying attention yet, but India's moves could change the balance of power in ways we haven't seen before. 2. How India is shaping its economic future to compete with China. China's strategy has been clear: control global supply chains, dominate infrastructure projects, and expand influence through trade alliances. But India is taking a different approach. Instead of following China's playbook, India is leveraging regional partnerships, digital infrastructure, and self-reliance to carve its own path. Strategic alliances. India is strengthening economic ties with countries in the Indo-Pacific region, particularly through the Quad alliance with the United States, Japan, and Australia. Manufacturing and innovation. Programs like Make in India and Self-Reliant India aim to reduce dependence on Chinese imports and position India as a global manufacturing hub.
Want to make India a global manufacturing destination.
This offers a timely and unique opportunity for industry and government to work together to make India truly globally competitive.
एक तरफ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ग्रोथ को बढ़ाना है, at the same time उसका सीधा बेनिफिट हिंदुस्तान के नौजवानों को मिले.
The digital revolution. India is emerging as a tech powerhouse with innovations in fintech, digital payments, and AI-driven industries, creating an entirely new economic advantage. The pieces of this strategy are coming together, but can India outmaneuver China's economic dominance? Let's take a closer look at India's secret weapon. 3. India's secret weapon, the digital revolution. India's most powerful weapon isn't military strength or manufacturing, it's technology. China built its empire through factories, exports, and infrastructure. India is building its future through digital transformation, fintech, and tech-driven commerce. Here's how India's digital economy is setting it apart from China. Unified Payments Interface, or UPI. India's real-time digital payment system is revolutionizing transactions and creating a cashless economy. While China relies on government-controlled payment platforms like WeChat Pay and Alipay, India's UPI empowers millions of small businesses without strict government control. Tech startups and innovation. Bengaluru is becoming the Silicon Valley of Asia, attracting billions in investments from global tech companies like Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. Unlike China, which limits foreign investments in tech, India is embracing global collaboration. AI and data power. India is rapidly becoming a leader in AI, automation, and cybersecurity, creating a new kind of economic strength that isn't dependent on traditional manufacturing. While China's economy thrives on exports and trade deals, India is creating a self-sustaining digital powerhouse, one that China cannot easily replicate. 4. How this is changing the balance of power. China's economy is now facing several cracks in its foundation. 1. A shrinking workforce. China's aging population is slowing down its economic momentum. 2. Trade restrictions and global pushback. Many countries are cutting their reliance on Chinese exports. 3. India's growing appeal to global investors. As China faces economic slowdowns, India is attracting companies looking for alternatives. Meanwhile, India's young population, rapid urbanization, and digital infrastructure are creating a new economic model, one that isn't dependent on China. And China knows it. That's why tensions between the two countries aren't just about borders or military power, they're about who controls the future of global trade. But the battle isn't over yet. 5. Long-term repercussions. The future of India versus China. The competition between India and China is far from settled. India is making huge strides in tech, digital finance, and innovation, but it still faces challenges. Infrastructure issues. India's roads, railways, and ports are still not as developed as China's. Trade deficit. Despite its efforts, India still imports more from China than it exports. Bureaucratic hurdles. Corruption and red tape slow down foreign investments and business expansion. But India has one big advantage: global support. The US, Japan, and Europe are actively investing in India to reduce reliance on China. Major corporations are shifting supply chains away from China and looking at India as the next big market. India is leading in renewable energy, digital commerce, and startup ecosystems, creating a sustainable economic future. So the real question is, if India can compete with China, it's when. Because in the next decade, we could see a massive shift in global economic power.
Prime Minister Modi has asked scientists to keep an eye on the rise of disruptive technology. Speaking at the Indian Science Congress in Tirupati, Modi said building a strong science and technology infrastructure that is accessible to academia, startup industry, and R&D labs is a priority of the government.
India will be among the top 3 countries in science and technology. Science must meet the rising aspirations of our people.
Will India's secret weapon, its self-reliant digital and economic revolution, be enough to challenge China's dominance? The world is watching as India challenges China's grip on global trade. Will India's digital revolution and self-reliant economy be the key to shifting economic power? Can India become the world's next superpower? Let's hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and tell us, do you think India can take on China?